So it was 1981, and it was a Saturday night going into Sunday morning, and I had a lot of happy juice in my body, and I was headed down I-85, and a trooper pulled me over. And I was extremely argumentative, reminding him that I had a flawless record and had never done anything wrong, and why would he pull me over? And so he said, because I'm taking you to the jail. Of course, I was probably talking like that, you know. So anyway, so I'm in the jail, and my dad comes. That was special, and he comes and gets me. I don't know which was more scary, but anyway. And so I said to the guy, I said, I still don't know what I did. He said, ma'am, all I was trying to do was tell you that your lights weren't on. But when you argued with me, and it was very clear that you didn't need to be driving a vehicle. Back then in my life, I was so immersed in needed human law to help me get back on track, because I wasn't listening. You see, I wasn't paying attention to the signs that were guiding me, even though I would have this feeling like I was born to do great things, or I was born for possibilities, or I know life is supposed to be more than it is. In the day-to-day practice, I was immersed in human law. I needed human traffic control. I needed officers in my life then to keep me on track, actually to keep me alive. Do you understand? And I think that there are times in all of our lives that we need human law. We need human opinions. We need educators. We need mentors. We need experiences. We need something that helps us stay in that paradigm so we don't get too far outside of the line. But there comes a time when we want to shift and understand that we are immersed in spiritual law. And if our lives aren't working the way that we have this lying dormant dream in our heart and in our minds and in our soul, and our lives aren't working, and we can feel it, and we keep expanding towards it, but we still don't see anything, then more than likely we have not understood the way that the laws work. We're not on some level listening. It's like from the whiz. If you believe within your heart, you'll know that no one can change the path of life that you must go. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when you'll say it's yours. Yes, believe that you can go home. Believe you can walk on air and click your heels 3 times. And if you believe, then you'll be there. Right? And you pull in that energetic field for yourself of that willingness to listen. As Albert Hubbard would say very clearly, the greatest mistake that people make is the overbearing concern that they will fail by making a mistake. Right? The greatest mistake in humanity is the people that hold back and not move forward because they're overly concerned of making a mistake. What I would go a step further and say to our recovery brothers and sisters, the greatest human mistake is being so concerned that you will fail because you believe you are a mistake. You are a mistake. And this is where all of us are needed now. Not next year, not when you feel like you went to one of your authoritative approval certification classes. This is where everybody is needed now, because everybody now needs to hold a space that you are worthy and that you have this innate intrinsic value because of who you are and because of the energy that you contain in your humanity, you see. And so it's worthiness. We can take someone hungry, feed them for a while. We can take someone who's cold, give them clothes for a while. We can take situations and support someone for a while. But until a person knows intrinsically the value of worthiness, they will never demand what is rightfully theirs in their own consciousness and in their own lives. Okay? And that's the part that, of course, I feel passionate about it, because it's the value that made me want to be here, made me want to live, made me say goodbye to the happy juice and do kombucha tea or something else, right? But brought in a reality of life being in alignment with what it's designed to be now 31 years later, of sobriety, of that space. It's like this woman in Ireland around 1950, and the seashore. She was very wealthy, yet frugal. And she decided, because they were running wires and cable for electricity, that she thought she would get electricity. And so they set it up. Well, a month later, the meter reader comes, and the meter reader knocks on her door, and he goes, "Ma'am, I'm confused. I thought you signed up to get electricity and to have power." She said, "Oh, I did." He said, "Well, are you using it?" And she said, "Well, every night I turn on the power long enough to light the candles. And then I turned the electricity back off." She had power. Her house was connected, but she was not altered. To say there's one presence and one power in the universe, the same stuff that power is made of is the same stuff you're made of. If your life isn't altered, it's just happy hour. It's rah-rah. You know, it's that expectation that you demand it to be right through you. And you demand it to show you the clarification of your path. And you look in the mirror and go, "I want mine now." Let's practice. I want mine now. I'm claiming mine now. But then the secret and the key is that you must pay attention to the things that come along, right? Like Rebecca and Michael Frantel that said, "Here's where you're supposed to go." You know, you're going somewhere else. No, here's where you're supposed to go. You must listen to the people, to the experiences, or your own integrity, like Bill said about his own company that led him to that place. You see, it's not change that we suffer from. It's the resistance to change that is long-time suffering. That's that different, and that's that energetic field. We are living at a time that is the most exciting that we've ever lived, because we are seeking a lot of ordinary heroes, right? We're seeking ordinary heroes. It's like, I love the e-blast I got this week from One Blood. And it says that not all heroes wear capes. You see, not all heroes wear capes. It's the ordinary exchanges when you are walking through life and you are showing your worth. If one really accepts, "I am God's beloved, with whom God is well pleased," that person has self-esteem. That person is not caught off guard easily. That person does not sweat small stuff. That person does not gossip. That person does not criticize. That person does never diminish anybody else, so they may feel better or bigger or feed their ego. Right? It's that knowing in space. And I'm not doing anything I thought I was doing, so I'm going to check in. Is this flowing for you, or something? And you know, you really can say no. I don't know what I'll do with it, but I have esteem, and I'll let it be okay. You know, I I look at as I just kind of through a view, I see the person that I once was. I saw how I was so immersed in human law, opinions of others, going only to the person that could go so far and asking them, what do you think of me? And they would say, well, not that much necessarily. Oh, thank you for sharing. Human law, human opinion, human systems. And yet the scientific proven is the person, the energy, the light that goes, wow, I know there's more, and I'm going to take it. I'm going to experience that, you see. I know it's coming. I know it's right in front of me. Great people of God like Gandhi, you know, they could see the change. They wanted to be the change, but what happened in between is he was willing to make the change. And often we have to make our minds change. We have to make our belief that, we have to heal our belief that something needs to be wrong for us to feel validated. We have to change our possibilities of our story that we've had before, right? And Gandhi, I love the story when the woman brought her little boy to him and said, Gandhi, please tell my little boy to stop eating sugar. And he said, come back in 6 months. Oh, okay. Namaste. So 6 months later, she comes back, and she comes with her boy, and she says, okay, can you talk to him now? He said, son, you need to give up sugar. And she said, why didn't you tell him that 6 months ago? He said, because I needed to get off sugar myself. Right? So it's okay. We're a clapping church. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. So if that is our core responsibility, if the only thing you did in your entire life was walk around knowing your innate, intrinsic worth, all of you, this many people, our planet would be catapulted to such a level of no return. Right? It's not often what you say, it's how you move in the groove of your life. And when you say every day, bring it on. Bring it on, right? So, in closing, Marge was on the plane headed to Cleveland. And she looked to her window as she had just boarded, and to her right was the sunset. So beautiful. She looks to the left, and the storm is coming, and the dark, kind of like what happened to us last night, you know. And so she notices to the right, the light, the sunset. To the left, it's dark and storm. And as she's sitting there, her inner voice, which we all have, said to her, Marge, here's the thing. You may not have a choice about what's in the window. You have a choice about which window you focus on. And no matter what, you need to be aware that this plane is going to Cleveland. No matter what you do, it's going to Cleveland. No matter what you do, what I do, our lives are going to go to a place of completion. But the question is, do we allow our lives to be altered? Do we use the power? Do we stand in the grace? Do we push the envelope to draw in more of who we are in our humanity and to say, I've got this? And when you hear people around you go, can you believe it? I got this. I got this. I got this. We do have this. We just need to take it to the next level and look to the window of the right and make it happen. Thank you for coming. Bless you. Thank you.